Hello and welcome to Paris Set Me Free, little 10-minute photo tutorials where I chat about some of my Paris photos. Now this photograph that you can see here is not the one I'm going to talk about, but it's to tell you that this was taken on one of my walks, which I call the Seine something or other. I can't even remember what it's called, but it's a wander along the Seine. I've split this walk up into two. One goes from way beyond the Eiffel Tower to one of the Statues of Liberty in Paris, down towards towards Concorde and that sort of area, and then the second half of it. These are 4-hour walks, mind you. The second half goes from roundabout Concorde down to the islands and maybe a little bit after. So they're both fantastic walks, and they're starting to be quite popular actually. So, you know, as you wander along, you see this is the river. There you can see the Eiffel Tower with a nice family of ducks on next to one of these beautiful barges which people live on, lucky them, just underneath the Eiffel Tower. There you can see the I think it's something like Flamme de la Liberté, which fans of Princess Diana have taken over as a kind of monument to her, because it's just over the tunnel near Pont d'Alma where she died. There you can see one of the banks of the River Seine, Avenue de New York, with a couple of Americans who were doing this tour with me. Lovely couple. And so it went on. There you can see a couple enjoying. This was last summer. Couple enjoying a little moment down by the river there. This is part of a new fresque on, I think it's Le Grand Palais. And so it goes on. Marvellous, marvellous photographs, opportunities. That's not what I'm going to show you. What I'm going to show you is this. Now here you can see what looks like. Hang on, let me just show you where we are here. So you can. There's Paris. I started off. There's Champ de Mars. Starting off down by the Eiffel Tower. Eiffel Tower is there. Avenue de New York, which we've just seen, and that's very interesting. They don't want us to see that area. You see what's happened? For some reason, I don't think it's my computer playing up. They must want to protect this from prying eyes. Let's see what we can see. Let's see if I click here we can zoom in. Yeah, that seems to be okay, and they've chopped this bit off. Very interesting. Okay, so we go down here. Doesn't want to show you. No, there you go. Alright, so it's here, basically, around here, and walking down by the river. You see all sorts of things, many tourists, and as you can see, this looks like it's some sort of wedding. Very often people from Asia, Japanese especially, come over and have their weddings in Paris on the Champ de Mars, and I remember one memorable time there were four beautiful white stretch limousines and four, I think they were Japanese couples getting married. It was absolutely amazing. So this is what caught my eye as I was wandering down by the banks of the Seine. The Seine is just behind that thing there. And look at all these lovely polished legs, beautiful dresses, and this smart guy as well. Well-turned heels, as they used to say. That's all well and good, but is it worth a photograph? Well, what made it worth a photograph was the next shot that I took, I think, which is this one here. And it's all about contrast. You've got the guy with his lovely big fat hairy calves, crumpled shorts, beer belly, stern, mean sort of rugby supporter look, his horrendous sort of greyish socks and some sort of sandal things here. Not that there's anything wrong with that at all, obviously, but it's just the contrast that makes it funny, with these absolutely perfectly burnished, tanned, worked out calves, and flimsy little straps on the sandals, and this very posh pair of trousers here, and this guy's feet. So that's what became this photograph here. As you can see, doesn't really need much explaining. It worked best as a panorama for me. Looking back at the original, you can see that this bit of sidewalk pavement here doesn't really add anything to the photograph. It's not what the photograph's about. Even his stern expression and his bit of a belly there isn't really what it's about. I realized that if I chopped it here, it would be a stronger photograph, because it's all about the difference between these legs and these legs. So that's why the photograph became this. And by chopping it that way, it turns into a very nice panorama, and it also draws attention to just the legs and the difference between his walker's calves and touristy sandals and crumpled shorts, and the absolute sublime perfection of these wispy, no doubt extremely expensive togs these people are wearing. So much more of a fun photograph, really, not really trying to hint at irony or the disparaging differences between rich and poor there. Simply a funny contrast that you find walking around the streets of Paris. So keep your eyes open for those. That's what makes the difference in a photograph between, oops, what are we doing? That's what's the difference between this and this. That one element that turns it from something that is a snap into something that you could consider to be something beyond a snap, which is what you've always got to be looking for. You've got to be looking for that difference to turn it into something special, that contrast. That's it for this little tour around Paris, including discovering areas which Google's not allowed to show, which I didn't know about. I'll have to check that out. Thanks for visiting. See high quality version of this as ever on the blog and the website, blog at parissetmefree.blogspot.com, and see you next time in Paris. Bye bye.
Depuis que je suis à Paris, le jour et la nuit, je suis gris. J'ai compris la douceur de vivre. Je suis fou de joie, je suis ivre. Depuis que je suis à Paris.